Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horton. This is a show where I talk about a lot of retro stuff, usually VHS tapes, cult movies, comics, and that sort of thing. Tonight I'm going to talk about retro action figures. So I do have a lot of love for old action figures. They have that nostalgia factor for me, as they do for many people. I'm not into getting like a huge collection. I don't want to get a massive collection of all these things, but I would like to have a couple of things from things that connect me to the steps on this journey called life. That was deep, Andrew. Bloody hell. Tonight, by the way, I'm using for lighting my hollow cube lamp, which is awesome. I really like this. It was from Mankind, and yeah, it's cheesy as hell, but I really like it. I'm easily pleased, and it looks nice and 80s sci-fi for me, so that's going up somewhere in the new place. By the way, this will be the last video, probably the last video shot in this location. I am moving house due to changes in life circumstances, so I'm moving home, so this will be the last video here, more than likely, and there'll be the new Planet Hex home base, Planet X base coming soon. But anyway, let's go and look at some retro action figures over on Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace is an interesting outlet, because sometimes there's amazing things on there, sometimes there's junk on there, sometimes there's strange things that make you laugh, sometimes there's things that are a little bit dodgy, but I just thought I would go and check out some retro figures. I've put vintage action figures in the search here, and let's see what comes up, and we'll take a look at some of the things that are on offer. So we've got straight away a vintage Star Wars carded figure with collector's coin. Star Wars markets all over the place at the moment. I see some Thunderbirds there and a crow. Let's have a look at that crow, because that looks like it's a Diamond Select one. A selection of mainly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that don't seem to be particularly vintage or retro. Oh, I know, there's some retro style ones there. Biker Mice from Mars, boxed. That looks cool. Star Wars action figure collection. I bet there's a lot of those on here at the moment. 1986 Karate Kid Cobra Kai action figures from Remco. They always take me back. They really look like of the era with the oversized heads. Star Wars Kenner figures. Ooh, £450. He-Man figures collection. Let's open that one to take a look at, because most two figures are just so cool to see. So that one there, you can see that's the Hulk at the side. Why am I pointing at my screen? You can't see it. The Hulk at the side, that looks like go on Ragnarok Hulk, so that's not going to be that interesting to me. The Star Wars Scout, I used to love that. Oh, that's Secret Wars comics. I thought it was Secret Wars figures. I loved those. Those were so cool. Okay, here we go. We've got a massive job lot bundle of vintage 90s Action Man figures. We've got a 1980s Action Force G.I. Joe figures and vehicles. We'll take a look at that one. Vintage, very rare NECA Robocop 18-inch. See, this, I'm going to open that up to have a look at, because that makes me a little sad that that's seeing as vintage. There's some horror collectibles. Let's see what we've got there. And Secret Wars figures, $30 though. That's overseas, but we'll take a look at that. State of that. Vintage rare Hasbro 1966 G.I. Joe Japanese Imperial Soldier toy collector. What have we got? It's a picture of its ass. Why? Fair enough. It's weird how how the algorithm will pick the picture to use. Now we'll open up this one of some random figures there. Why the hell not? Lots of wrestling figures. Lord of the Rings figures. Remember those being big. A lot of very cool things here, and some things that don't really appeal to me, but I can see the appeal to that they have for other people. Thunder Punch He-Man. That's so cool. My favorite He-Man figure, my favorite Motu figure overall, personally, is Battle Armor He-Man, closely followed by Battle Armor Skeletor. That was the ones where they had the revolving chest, where the damage would come up if you poke the chest. And then to repair it, you just revolve it to show the clear part of it. Really, really cool. Teletubbies. No. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. Ghostbusters. Okay, let's see what we've got open here, because this should give us a good idea of what's available and see what these prices are. It can be a little bit misleading on Facebook Marketplace, because if you go to the listings page here, for example, some things will say £1 or free, or, you know, £30 for the lot. But when you go to the page, it's often the different prices for different items that they've got listed. Right, let's see what we've got open here. I mean, by all means, if you have a particular range of action figures that you're into, please let me know in the comments down below, because I would like to come across some relatively cheap, like Visionaries or Centurions, maybe some of the big monsters from Inhumanoids, that sort of thing, because they were so fun. I loved Visionaries. I loved a lot of the things that didn't really make it very well, like Visionaries or Starcom. Starcom was another one. Yeah, okay, so this is a Diamond Select Crow, so this is quite a recent one. We need to look at as many Crow things as we can to wipe out the memory of the remake existing. I think that's really important that we do that. So what is this? What's being asked for? Doesn't appear to be a price on there. Let's see what's going on. That is a good looking figure. The Diamond Select is quality stuff. That is a good looking Eric Draven. The lightness of Brandon Lee there is really solid. Right, let's have a look at this next one we've got. Okay, so this is a Ninja Turtles one. Let's have a look here. We've got that's retro packaging, but that is not. No, they're not retro figures. So we've got some from Mutant Mayhem, the Sonic Watch, Bitty Pops, DC Joker. This looks like someone's had a bit of a spree at B&M. There's all stuff you can get from B&M, to be honest. So fair enough. I don't have a problem with that at all, because I was in there twice today myself. Mainly for household things, but you know, we always have to nip by and have a look at the toy aisle as well. So there's nothing vintage there, but this is coming up in a vintage or retro search. So do be careful what you look for when you look for these things. You check the things that you are considering buying are what they are advertised as. So we've got here Biker Mice from Mars figure. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is £50. It's in box. Let's have a look. Look at that. It's Throttle, the leader of the Biker Mice from Mars. Sprocket launcher really fires. That is minty looking. That is so minty. I'm curious to see if that is actually retro or not. It says brand new in the box, never opened. Let's have a look at the packaging. Yep, that is looking like the packaging of the era. There's no website notes on there, no URLs, nothing digital, there's no QR code or anything like that. I can't see the year on it, but that looks pretty good. And for that, in that condition, that is a good price. That is not a bad price at all. What else have we got? So, a bit slow tonight, my connection. So, oh yes, this is the Motu One Master Universe huge collection of He-Man figures that have been sat in a box for over 30 years on selling on behalf of my husband. Selling as a complete collection, please do not ask if we're selling individual figures, as we want to get rid of them as one lot. That makes a lot of sense. It reduces the amount of hassle you have. Let's have a look at this. All accessories included as shown in photos. I see some great ones here. So straight away you've got some big ones there. You've got Trapjaw, you've got Prince Adam, you've got Mossman. This is so fun. Oh, look at this batch here. Yes. Got King Hiss, Buzzar, Stratos, Zodiac, Merman, that Modulock in the corner. There's some classics here. The Hordak's looking good. Oh, many faces. Many faces. I loved that figure. I played with that so much. Evil Lyn with a weird skin tone. Ram Man with his weird hollow feeling. He was far too light. You know what I mean. Fisto. Faker there. Whoever was going to believe Faker wasn't, was who he said he was. Triclops, Teela, Cyclone, and King Hiss. King Hiss. I've forgotten the name of that one, but I had that and the top pops off. You can see one of the snake arms there. That's really cool. Is it just those figures? Oh, there's Panther. And some vehicles. Okay, so with the vehicles as well, that's pretty interesting. I think 450 may be a little high for it. Personally, I think that would be more around 300 mark, just because it is a job lot, and there's things are missing some accessories and bits of costume and so on, but those are very, very, very cool. Excellent. I envy that. I had a great big Motu collection as a kid. I had one again as an adult. I still have a Castle Grayskull, um, but I did sell off a bunch of Motu figures that we came across quite cheaply a little while ago, and I kind of regret selling them, to be honest. But I always feel like when that's anything cool. Right, it's not beer; it's mango sparkling water. It was beer, but it's a weeknight, and I can't do that on a weeknight. I'm not in my 20s anymore, or my 30s for that matter. Clearing out the loft and found more of my partner's old 1980s Action Force toys. So Action Force, as you don't know, was the UK version of G.I. Joe, and I don't really know the characters in G.I. Joe or Action Force. I did have some of them. I had this dude in the yellow and the white. I remember that for a start. I think I had Snake Eyes and a few others from that range, but not loads of them. But what I love about these now is the aesthetic of them takes me back to that time of walking down the aisles of the toy aisles in, say, Woolworths or Toys R Us in the 90s. But for to start with, places like Woolworths and so on, Hamleys, or if you're from Sheffield, and as I am, you'll remember a magical toy shop called Redgate. And if you say that word to people of a certain age from Sheffield, they go all misty-eyed and think of the lovely things that we once had. But here we are in 2025, and we're all getting by on enjoying nostalgia to take a focus of the hellscape the world has become. Anyway, toys, those are cool. I like those. No offers. If it's listed, it's available. Fair enough. Nice to see those though. Still not seeing any visionaries or anything in these. So this is what I was going to mention this. This was the vintage, very rare NECA Robocop 18-inch motion activated working figure. Now this takes me back to my comic shop days, as a lot of these things do, because the 18-inch range of NECA figures was one of the biggest and most consistent sellers that we had in the whole 9 years that I was there. And that was simply because they looked fantastic, because they weren't like little figure size, they were a larger format, it afforded a lot more detail, a lot more paint work on there, and you get more of a feel of the character rather than like a barely articulated small figure. That said, they were enormous, but they were a really good seller and kept me in wages for a long time, so cheers for that, you guys. There was a bunch of these in this range, and it was just such a good seller, but it makes me feel old to see that this is now being called vintage. So in this next window, what else do we have a look here? Oh, this is the horror collectibles. This looks a bit more random and a bit more current, say within like the last 10 years or so. Oh, it's probably even more recent than that. So we've got NECA Cult Classics there, which looks like a bit of a riff on the old movie Maniacs from McFarlane, which were amazing. So we've got Jigsaw Killer there. We've got this Creepshow figure there. That's cool. Oh yes, from Something to Tide You Over. From the original one with Ted Danson in it. That was so good, that story. A Walking Dead zombie, another Walking Dead figure, and a Toony Terrors pinhead. I do like the Toony Terrors range. They are a nice figure. They don't look too daft. Not like say Funkos or anything with the huge like chibi style heads, but they're still sort of cartoony, but they are in proportion. I've got a Toony Terrors Elvira upstairs in the which actually is packed up now, which is part of the set. My normal Planet Hex set, which I don't have at the moment because I'm packing to move. But this is it's a good range. It's a good range, and they are not ridiculously expensive. I recommend looking in HMV for those because they often have them on offer there. So is that everything in that batch? Oh, no, there's some more. There's a Father's Day figure as well. Creep Show. Attack of the Living Dead from, oh, it's Mezco. That's a bit more stylized. And a Jaws keyring. I see some stuff in the background beyond this here that looks interesting. I see Chucky. I see the one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster there. Day of the Dead. I wonder if that guy's got my books. Anyway, vhsatmybrain 1 and 2. Check them out. And the other stuff I wrote, because that's good as well. But those are the ones that people seem to like the most. But yeah, that's cool. Bit random. Not sure how many people it would drag along. Oh, I've got a problem with that page, so I'll reload that, and I'll have a look at this one instead. Not enough memory. OBS doesn't take that much. Technology. Let's do some housekeeping on this computer and get rid of some of the stuff that's on it. But I want to have a look at this, see what's in this random lot, and then we'll get to those vintage Marvel Secret Wars figures to finish up. And random figurines use good. Is that 5 each? Or is that 5 for all of them? Doesn't really specify. But I see some here that are interesting. So there's, I see Halo there, Star Trek, Captain Jack Sparrow, some wrestlers. I like the zombified Undertaker, that's cool. Hulk with no articulation. Is that a Mick Foley? I'm not sure. Jurassic Park figure. 10th Doctor. Suicide Squad Joker. Fortnite. And Braun Strowman. And Black Suit Spidey. Fair enough. That is about a £5, I would say, for that. So let's end this video by checking out some of these beautiful things. Why does the algorithm keep showing me figures' asses tonight? I don't want to see that. So this is, it says it's listed in Bognor Regis, but it's listed in dollars. These are vintage Mattel Secret Wars action figures. Captain America, Doctor Doom, Doctor Octopus, Magneto, and Kang from 1984. £30. Collection from Bognor Regis. No one's going to collect them, dude. You're Bognor Regis, man. Post them. Like £5. You'll be fine. So these give me a lot of nostalgia because I had a bunch of the Secret Wars figures. I've mentioned that before on the channel, but we've got Doctor Doom there, and Captain America and Kang. Kang's expression is a little like he's just woken from a sleep from 1984 and woken up in 2025, and he's like, oh my god, what the hell. Doc Ock down there without his tentacles. Nearly said testicles. Without his tentacles, but still bright and very, very 80s. But that Magneto figure, I had the Magneto figure, and I remember it came with a cape. I think it was the kind of rubbery cape, and I came with a shield with lenticular pictures you could put in. So when you move the shield around, it would show different images. And I just thought that was the greatest piece of technology ever at the time. But bear in mind, when these came out, I was 6 years old. So please cut me some slack. So I'm quite surprised with the retro action figures we've been able to find on Facebook Marketplace tonight. There's been some good ones. There's been some that have been a bit iffily priced, but these are really, really good things to try out. So if you are in the market for some retro goodies, don't forget about Facebook Marketplace, because it is easy to just focus on eBay and stuff like that. So do check out Facebook Marketplace, but also support your local conventions when you get them near you, and your local toy shows. And if you've got any retro toy shops near you, also visit them and tell me about it, because I want to hear about them. Anyway, that was a lot of fun looking through those. I'm trying not to bankrupt myself at the moment, but a few things have been added to the mental shopping list there. If you like this sort of thing, please do like and subscribe to Planet Hex. There'll be more videos on retro collectibles, comics, games, movies, music, cult movies, and of course, lots and lots of VHS talk, because that's what I'm most known for. That's what I love talking about. VHS and cult movies and VHS culture. Here we are in the future, and all that's retro, but hey, that's what we love. Thank you ever so much for watching this episode of Planet Hex.